The Complete Works of William Shakespeare by William Shakespeare. Act 3. Scene I. Forez. A room in the palace. Enter Banquo. Banquo. Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promise, and I fear thou playedst most foully for't, yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more. Senate sounded. Enter Macbeth as king, Lady Macbeth as queen, Lennox, Ross, lords, and attendants. Macbeth. Here's our chief guest. Lady Macbeth. If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming. Macbeth. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence. Banquo. Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit. Macbeth. Ride you this afternoon? Banquo. Ay, my good lord. Macbeth. We should have else deserted your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous, in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is far you ride? Banquo. As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night, for a dark hour or twain. Macbeth. Fail not our feast. Banquo. My lord, I will not. Macbeth. We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Those flents with you? Banquo. Ay, my good lord, our time does call upon's. Macbeth. I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Exit Banquo. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Excellent Lady Macbeth, lords, and see. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure? Servant. They are, my lord, without the palace gate. Macbeth. Bring them before us. Exit servant. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebucked, as, it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him, then, prophet-like, they held him father to a line of kings, upon my head they placked a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my gripe, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If be so, for Banquo's issue have I filled my mind, for them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come, fate, into the list, and champion me to th utterance. Who's there? Enter servant with 2 murderers. Now go to the door, and stay there till we call. Exit servant. Was it not yesterday we spoke together? First murderer. It was, so please your highness. Macbeth. Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in the times past, which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self? This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you how you were borne in hand, how crossed, the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion cras say. Thus did Banquo. First murderer. You made it known to us. Macbeth. I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave, and beggared yours forever? First murderer. We are men, my liege. Macbeth. Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds, and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shaws, waterrugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him classed, whereby he does receive particular addition, from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not ith worse rank of manhood sate, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who were our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect. Second murderer. I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world. First murderer. And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance, to mend it or be rid on't. Macbeth. Both of you know Banquo was your enemy. Both murderers. True, my lord. Macbeth. So is he mine, and in such bloody distance, that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, and though I could with bare fact power sweep him from my sight, and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall who I myself struck down, and thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons. Second murderer. We shall, my lord, perform what you command us. First murderer. Though our lives, Macbeth. Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy oth time, the moment not, for it must be done tonight and something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Flint's his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon. Both murderers. We are resolved, my lord. Macbeth. I'll call upon you straight, abide within. Exeunt murderers. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight. Exit. Scene 2. The same. Another room in the palace. Enter Lady Macbeth and a servant. Lady Macbeth. Is Banquo gone from court? Servant. Aye, madam, but returns again tonight. Lady Macbeth. Say to the king, I would attend his leisure for a few words. Servant. Madam, I will. Exit. Lady Macbeth. Naught's had, all's spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Enter Macbeth. How now, my lord, why do you keep alone, of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard, what's done is done. Macbeth. We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the world suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further. Lady Macbeth. Come on, gently, my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight. Macbeth. So shall I, love, and so, I pray, be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo, present him eminence, both with eye and tongue, unsafe the while, that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are. Lady Macbeth. You must leave this. Macbeth. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou know'st that Banquo, and his flints, lives. Lady Macbeth. But in them nature's copies not a turn. Macbeth. There's comfort yet, they are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle, with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note. Lady Macbeth. What's to be done? Macbeth. Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to th rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whiles night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still, things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, Piarethi, go with me. Exeunt. Scene 3. The same. A park or lawn, with a gate leading to the palace. Enter 3 murderers. First murderer. But who did bid thee join with us? Third murderer. Macbeth. Second murderer. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices, and what we have to do to the direction just. First murderer. Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveller apace, to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch. Third murderer. Hark! I hear horses. Banquo. Within. Give us a light there, ho! Sec. And murderer. Then 'tis he, the rest that are within the note of expectation already are ith court. First murderer. His horses go about. Third murderer. Almost a mile, but he does usually, so all men do, from hence to the palace gate make it their walk. Enter Banquo and Flenc with a torch. Second murderer. A light, a light! Third murderer. 'Tis he. First murderer. Stand to't. Banquo. It will be rain tonight. First murderer. Let it come down. Assaults Banquo. Banquo. Oh, treachery! Fly, good Flint's, fly, fly, fly! Thou mayst revenge, O slave! Dies. Flint's escapes. Third murderer. Who did strike out the light? First murderer. Was not the way? Third murderer. There's but one down, the sun is fled. Second murderer. We have lost best half of our affair. First murderer. Well, let's away, and say how much is done. Exeunt. Scene 4. The same. A room of state in the palace. A banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords and attendants. Macbeth. You know your own degrees, sit down. At first and last the hearty welcome. Lords. Thanks to your majesty. Macbeth. Ourself will mingle with society, and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time, we will require her welcome. Lady Macbeth. Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome. Enter first murderer to the door. Macbeth. See, they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even, here I'll sit ith midst. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face. Murderer. 'Tis Banquo's then. Macbeth. 'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched? Murderer. My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him. Macbeth. Thou art the best o.th cutthroats, yet he's good that did the like for Flint's. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil. Murderer. Most royal sir, Flint's is scapt. Macbeth. Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air, but now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe? Murderer. Ay, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature. Macbeth. Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, no teeth for th present. Get thee gone, tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again. Exit murderer. Lady Macbeth. My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a-making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, meeting were bare without it. The ghost of Banquo rises, and sits in Macbeth's place. Macbeth. Sweet remembrancer. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both. Lennox. May't please your highness sit. Macbeth. Here had we now our country's honour roofed, were the gracked person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance. Ross. His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please your highness to grace us with your royal company? Macbeth. The table's full. Lennox. Here is a place reserved, sir. Macbeth. Where? Lennox. Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness? Macbeth. Which of you have done this? Lords. What, my good lord? Macbeth. Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me. Ross. Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well. Lady Macbeth. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat, the fit is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him, and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man? Macbeth. Ay, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil. Lady Macbeth. O proper stuff! This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authoress by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool. Macbeth. Piarethi, see there! Behold! Look! Lo! How say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites. Ghost disappears. Lady Macbeth. What, quite unmanned in folly? Macbeth. If I stand here, I saw him. Lady Macbeth. Fie, for shame. Macbeth. Blood hath been shed ere now, ith olden time, ere humane statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear, the time has been, that, when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is. Lady Macbeth. My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you. Macbeth. I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy o' th whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss, would he were here. Ghost rises again. To all and him, we thirst, and all to all. Lords, our duties and the pledge. Macbeth. Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold, thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with. Lady Macbeth. Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time. Macbeth. What man dare, I dare, approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or Hyrcan tiger, take any shape but that, and my firm nerve shall never tremble, or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword, if trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, hence! Ghost disappears. Why so, being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still. Lady Macbeth. You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder. Macbeth. Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud, without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine are blanched with fear. Ross. What sights, my lord? Lady Macbeth. I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse, question enrages him. At once, good night, stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once. Lennox. Good night, and better health attend his majesty. Lady Macbeth. A kind good night to all. Exeunt all lords and attendants. Macbeth. It will have blood, they say, blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak, augurs, and understood relations, have by magpies, and choughs, and rooks, brought forth the secrets man of blood. What is the night? Lady Macbeth. Almost at odds with morning, which is which? Macbeth. How say'st thou, that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding? Lady Macbeth. Did you send to him, sir? Macbeth. I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters, more shall they speak, for now I am bent to know, by the worse means, the worse. For mine own good, all causes shall give way, I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head, that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned. Lady Macbeth. You lack the season of all nature's sleep. Macbeth. Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed. Exeunt. Scene V. The Heath. Thunder. Enter the three witches meeting Hecate. First Witch. Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily. Hecate. Have I not reason, beldams as you are, saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Akron meet me ith morning, thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms, and everything beside. I am for thr, this night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic sleights, shall raise such artificial sprites, as, by the strength of their illusion, shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes both wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Music and song within. Come away, and see. Hark! I am called, my little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me. Exit. First witch. Come, let's make haste, she'll soon be back again. Exeunt. Scene 6. Forez. A room in the palace. Enter Lennox and another lord. Lennox. My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only, I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitted of Macbeth, marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom, you may say, if please you, Flint's killed, for Flint's fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought, how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Denalban to kill their gracious father? Damned fact! How it did grieve Macbeth! Did he not straight, in pious rage, the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive, to hear the men denight. So that, I say, he has borne all things well, and I do think, that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as, and please heaven, he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill a father, so should Flint's. But peace! For from broad words, and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear, Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself? Lord. The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king, upon his aid to wake Northumberland, and warlike Siward that, by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage, and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war. Lennox. Sent he to Macduff? Lord. He did, and with an absolute. Sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turns me his back, and hums, as who should say, You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer. Lennox. And that well might advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England, and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed. Lord. I'll send my prayers with him. Exeunt.